I just kind of fucked that up. But what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, RizGod, Riz God, baby. Bringing you guys, not the first, not the 10th, not the 12th, not the 13th, but the 14th episode of the RizPod, where we talk everything sports related. The NBA Finals just wrapped up. The Stanley Cup just wrapped up. So you know what season that means. It's strictly baseball season on the RizPod. And today I am joined by a first-time guest, one of my closest friends, and someone I'm really excited to talk Yankees baseball with. Let's cut the introduction out. Let's bring him in already. Please welcome my boy, Freddy. What's going on?
What's up? How you doing, Rizzo?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy
Ready
to
to
be on
talk?
the show. I'm happy to be on the podcast. RizPod going to the moon.
Going to the moon, and that's how it's going to keep going. We're going to keep on producing content. It's been a little bit for the viewers that are following weekly. It's been a little bit. I kind of been on a hiatus, but the boys is back. Some fun news. I'm going to Fenway Park this weekend. Might produce some content for the pod there, which is going to be really fun, which is kind of going hand in hand into the RizPod episode this week. And we're talking Yankees baseball. Last time the RizPod heard about some Yankees baseball was me doing my own show, my own little take for the first time. But now I'm glad to have a guest on to talk about the Yankees. And this is our first real episode, just breaking down the entire Yankees with someone alongside me. So, Freddie, kind of just to kick us off, we're almost 70 games, I believe, into the season. The Yankees are 39-30. As a fan, based on your expectations coming into the season, what's your just initial brief thoughts on this Yankees team? Are you happy with where they're at? Do you feel like we could be better? Like, what's your initial thoughts?
I'm okay with it. You know, it's early in the season. Baseball's a long season, 162 games. We're in third place right now. Last year we started off really hot. This year wasn't the case. But I think that, when October comes, it's whatever team is hot. That's what you got to go with. So I think the Yankees got a good shot.
Yeah, I think you kind of pointed out pretty well here. I think it's okay. Like, we're doing good. We're doing normal New York Yankees baseball things. So there's a lot of other teams that are killing it, like the Orioles, the Rays, the Diamondbacks. But obviously, when you are the New York Yankees, there are a lot of expectations. But like, you're right. We started off on pace to be the best team ever last year, and we stunk it up when it mattered. So hopefully we just kind of keep on going at a good pace and then get hot at the end. And obviously we'll kind of talk more about that as the podcast progresses, about what we think of certain situations and whatnot. But let's kind of just talk some recent stuff right now. Obviously, a lot of injuries has plagued this Yankees team this year. I mean, we're looking at Aaron Judge, MVP of the league, MVP of this team, King of New York, obviously having a great season, but injuring his toe. Before we kind of really get into all these other injuries, I want to kind of give you an opportunity to talk about Aaron Judge. What do you feel like he's meant for this New York team, as well as just kind of the face of baseball? Do you feel like he's going to keep continuing to be this great player, or do you feel like we're just kind of seeing his peak right now?
Oh no, the peak hasn't come yet. He's not done with his peak. I think he's gonna win one or two more MVPs before he starts to die down. The injury, however, it happens. It sucks. It happens. Just rest well, heal well, come back strong, like you always do. He's the best, man. Any team that loses him would hurt a lot, and that's where we are right now. We're hurting.
And I agree. And I feel like when you look at all these games, we'll kind of talk about the Subway Series, which is the most recent series that we just faced, which is always a great time to talk about. Yankees versus Mets, the
Yep.
Battle of New York. But with his injury, and honestly, not only him, but you got injuries to the likes of Bader. Giancarlo Stanton was out for a long time. Josh Donaldson, and even though a lot of people don't like Donaldson, he's been out for a very long time. A lot of injuries plaguing this team, and we're seeing it in these games. You got McKinney playing, you got Willie Calhoun playing, Jake Bauers, a lot of these guys getting these at-bats. And I will say a lot of them have been playing pretty good. I mean, like, we're 39-30.
Jake Bauers.
Yeah, Jake Bauers
Mhm.
has been great. Willie Calhoun, whatever. Oh, my. YouTube, don't
Nah.
copyright us. But he's got a fire walk-up song. He's been producing. Ultimately, the last two games against this Mets, we did split the series 1-1. We won the first game. Lost a pretty tough one yesterday when Isaiah Falefa just stole the show, not only stealing home, but
Yeah,
having
that
a
was
great game.
that was nice.
What's your thoughts on the Yankees split in the series with the Mets? Talk about the Yankees-Mets rivalry. Why is the Yankees the best team in New York? I just kind of want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, New York, it's the battle of New York, like you said, and we'll see them next month to see who really owns New York. But it was a great series. Both games were very great. I mean, the second game had a lot of errors in it. It was more sloppy, and then the pitchers duel in the beginning of it. But they were both really good games. I mean, both teams were into it. Both teams were feeling the crowd. It was playoff energy out there. Um, I do have to add though, Jake Bauers had a really amazing second game. Those at bats were clutch. That's the type of hitting. That's the type of hitter you want in the playoffs. Wasting pitches for their ace, getting them out the game early. So I do like what I'm seeing from Jake Bowers.
I'm glad that you bring him up and give him a shout out because Jake Bauers not only is doing well with the bat, but on the field, he's been making
Oh yeah,
amazing catches the last few weeks. I mean, he's been robbing home runs, making diving plays. He hit 2 home runs in the same game against the Dodgers that one game, clutch hitting against the Mets.
the
Like
over the head
Jake,
catch. That
yeah,
was that was a nice catch.
he was tough. He's been amazing. And I'm glad that you shout him out because honestly, he's kind of giving me Greg Bird energy from the 2017 team. Not like Greg Bird was anything special because Greg Bird is kind of
No,
ass.
don't compare him to Greg Berg.
But listen, Greg Bird had a moment. He had his Yankees legacy moment in the playoffs against Andrew Miller. And I kind of feel like Jake Bauers is kind of cultivating that a little bit. I think with this Yankees team, the culture is just any means necessary, any way possible. Like, look at
Hmm.
IKF. I really want to talk about IKF too. IKF went from being our starting shortstop last year to everyone hating him. Like, listen, I'm not going to say I'm an IKF fan, but like, I did not hate him as much as Yankees Twitter hated IKF. I was like, listen, IKF, he could do it all.
He's
And
utility. He's good. He's a good player to have on your team. He could even
ex-
catch too.
exactly. And we're expecting a guy that was a Gold Glove third baseman to now playing shortstop every day to being this elite player and being in New York, being the shortstop. There's a lot of expectations. And obviously, he didn't have the best season. But coming into the season, Aaron Boone's like, dude, you're going to play everywhere. And I mean, we were there live against the Orioles. That dude almost hit for the cycle. He had a home run, he had a triple, he had a single. And
Yep.
then against the Mets, he got on base, stole second, stole third, and stole home to cultivate a run. And I just think what IKF is doing with his small sample size is something to note. A lot of Yankees fans are switching up on him, and I just kind of want to be like, nah, keep the hate and shit over there. Like, IKF has been really doing well for this ball club, and I hope he kind of progresses and plays his role well because I think IKF loves the Yankees, and it would be
Yeah.
a shame to see people hate on him when he just wants to win.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's hitting almost touching 240. And, last year, where was he then? He's definitely stepping up a little. He's trying to, he's playing hard. He's playing small ball, which is what we need with all these injuries. Small ball is definitely the way to go. Stealing home was great to watch. And yeah, I definitely like IKF. I mean, he pisses me off sometimes, but it's because I'm a diehard fan.
Yeah, and I think I love what you said there, talking about the small ball. Yankees' big problem. We're the Bronx Bombers. We always aim for the fences. Little League fields, Mickey Mouse Field. Like, I never understood that quip. I mean, the Yankees play at Yankee Stadium, but so does the people they play against. So it's like, use it to your
Yeah, it's
advantage.
the same thing.
Yeah, but obviously with Stanton, Judge, Rizzo, like all these guys are power hitters. So we really need to play small ball. Josh Donaldson's a power hitter. Like, IKF is someone that's perfect. Jake Bauers and Willie Calhoun have been doing a great job putting the ball in play. Gleyber Torres, I know he's been slowing down this recent stretch, but he's been really good for the Yankees this season in the leadoff spot, cleaning up, batting fifth. Like, he's been really playing well, and I want to give him
Yeah.
his flowers. I hope the Yankees re-sign him because I kind of want to get into it, and we'll do that right after the Subway Series. But there's a lot of Yankees that are underperforming, and that's really telling because of our record. Like 39-30 with all the injuries and all the people that are underperforming right now, I think is amazing for this Yankees team. But before we kind of get to that part of the show, I kind of want to continue with the Subway Series. You pointed it out about Game 2. I want to talk about Game 2 a little bit. Justin Verlander versus Garrett Cole, the former Astro teammates going at it. It was a pitcher's duel. Justin Verlander,
Very,
6 innings. He pitched great.
It
Garrett
was
Cole pitched.
expected.
Yeah,
It was
and that's
expected.
absolutely. And I think Justin Verlander, who's definitely been struggling for the Mets this season, and Garrett Cole, our Cy Young, he's kind of been slowing down a little bit in the Cy Young race, but he's a top 3 right now in terms of rankings. He's been killing it. He pitched great. His last inning was a little shaky, giving up that run, but I kind of want you to touch up on Garrett Cole and what he's meant for this ball club this season in terms of like, what do you like from him? Because listen, a lot of people have been giving him shit for how much money the Yankees paid him, but he showed up in the postseason last year. He's showing up right now. What's your thoughts on Garrett Cole and what he means to this team?
I mean, this dude pitches 90. He averages 90. He has 91 innings pitched. He is healthy. That's the best part about it. Not only is he our ace, not only is he top three pitchers of the league, he's healthy. We have him all the time. That's what's the best. He's a go-getter. He wants to pitch. He wants to be on the rubber. You heard it last year in the postseasons. He walked in after what, throwing how many innings? Almost 9. He walked in the next day, said, "Throw me out there. I'm good to go if you need me." He's a
Yeah,
go-getter. I love that energy in my ace.
no, absolutely, and especially for being in New York, like you said, I remember it against Cleveland. Garrett Cole just threw, I think, 8 innings in Game 4 or whatever it was, and he was like, or in Cleveland, and he was like, "I'm ready to close the next game if
Yep.
you need me." Like you said, that's the type of energy that the Yankees need. And you're right. I think he is healthy. He's never injured, and you can always rely on him to put out a good outing.
Knock on
And
wood. But he's killing it right now.
yeah, absolutely. So he pitched a great game, and obviously the Yankees kind of fall. Do you think a loss like that to the Mets in the way that they kind of lost after being up 3-1 kind of like shakes them up a little bit, or you just think it's whatever, it's not a big deal, we're going to go into Boston this weekend and not really worry about it?
I don't think we're going to worry about it. It was a game that we lost. We should have definitely won that game. The Mets came out of nowhere and stole that game. Kudos to them, though. Win's a win. But I definitely think it's not going to be a hiccup at all. We're on to the next game. We got Boston. We got to play hard out in Boston and then keep it rolling after that.
And the way I look at it, I mean, if let's talk about Game 1 a little bit of the Subway Series. I think you mentioned that the Mets kind of stole Game 2, and I think that's exactly what the Yankees did Game 1. We were down 5-1 entering the third or fourth inning, and then the Yankees just start clobbering Max Scherzer. DJ had a big home run. Obviously, Stan had his Stantonian blast, and the Yankees just came back and ended up winning the game. Like, the Mets have been looking really shaky this year, man. Really, really bad with all the money that they've spent. But
Definitely.
that win was a great comeback win. I mean, everybody kind of contributed. The Yankees bullpen, I would love for you to talk about them if you don't mind. The Yankees bullpen is always doing what the Yankees bullpen do, and that's shutting people down. Obviously, yesterday, whatever they give it up in the 10th, but I think this Yankees bullpen is something to talk about because honestly, there's not a lot of big names. Like in the past, it was Mo, Dellin Betances, David Robertson, Aroldis Chapman, like all these guys. And honestly, the only big name for the Yankees is, I guess, Clay Holmes. I guess Michael King. Like
Wandy got a name too. Wandy got a little name.
For us Yankee fans, but I think if you ask a
Yeah.
Royals fan and you look at Ron Marinaccio and you look at
They're
Jimmy
like, "Who the hell is this?"
Cordero, and they're like, yeah, who's this guy? So I kind of want to see your thoughts on the Yankees bullpen. Do you think it's a strong suit for this team? Do you feel like there's still more to improve? What's your takes? Clay Holmes has been lights out. I mean, he came in Game 1 when they needed him and got
And
the
he
2
should have been in
strikeouts.
Game 2. And he should have came in Game 2. But our bullpen's been amazing. I mean, Clay Holmes, Marinaccio, Abreu's, he's struggling a little. He's been okay, but I think he's gonna shape up. He's still young, so we'll see how it is. And I love Wandy Peralta. That's my favorite person in that bullpen. I love watching Wandy pitch. He does have those days, but everyone does, But I definitely think our bullpen is definitely going to be a key to going deep in the playoffs. We're going to need pitching out of that pen. And I also want to add that about the Game 2 loss, I think that's all on Boone. I think you have a rest day before, right? You have a game against the Mets. Clay Holmes pitches against 2 batters. There's a game the next day and then an off day. Why isn't Holmes pitching in that situation? We need that. We need him in there to get us out that game and take the win.
It's so funny because a lot of people criticize Boone, and I'm definitely one of those people that criticize his decisions because I will say, I loved Joe Girardi growing up. He obviously won us a championship, and I felt like he always put us in situations year in and year out. And kudos to Boone. This team makes the championship series pretty often since he's been in tenured, but I think he just makes silly mistakes like you're saying. Like, why is Clay Holmes not in there yesterday? Like, which is so funny because I remember people criticizing him because when we had Chad Green, he was putting Chad Green to pitch in every day, and everyone's like, well, his arm's going to fall off. And now he's just not doing it with certain guys. But I think it's a learning curve for Aaron Boone. I do think he could have, because I look at some of the lineups that Aaron Boone puts out, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, listen, I love IKF, but him batting 5th or 6th on a nightly basis is like, what is going on? Why is Jake Bauers leading off? Like, yes, he's been doing his job.
Though, lead off. Yeah,
He did. He did, but it's just it's an unconventional lineup, and I guess he's trying to switch shit up. Like even putting Stanton batting second, like I just don't know. I don't know what I really.
I also get that the blame's not all on him though. I definitely
Right.
think Cashman's pulling some strings here and there. So
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, he's just dealing with the players that he has, right? Like we said, we're talking about all these injuries. Whatever Cashman's given him, he's got to put a lineup out there. So that's why I can't fault him too much on the McKinneys, on the Greg Allens and whatnot. Like you just got to put on your best product. And listen, they're 39-30 with all these injuries. And I think before we kind of segue it over, do you have any final thoughts on the Subway Series?
nah, I think it's good. I mean, like I said, we're gonna get over this hiccup. We're on to Boston. Let's sweep them.
Everybody knows it's Yankees by a billion. And if you are a Mets fan, then stick around because we love Mets fans. Anyways, kind of segueing over, we've been talking about injuries the entire time. I would love to talk about injury season, how I'm going to deem it, and just kind of like all the injuries that the Yankees are facing, right? We talked about Judge already, but if you look down the list, Harrison Bader, Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, who I wanted to talk a little bit about with you. I think DJ LeMahieu, who's been a machine for us since his tenure here, has been really, really bad. Really bad this season. He's batting like 230. He's got 7 home runs, only like 20 ribbies, and he's been batting in like key spots. He's not a leadoff hitter. He's batting like 5th, and he's just not producing. Carlos Rodon, our biggest signing in the offseason, hasn't even pitched a game yet. Nestor's keep on going in and out, and we've seen Nestor quite a bit live. Sevy was out for a while, and now that he's back, he's been pitching really bad. Josh Donaldson's been out. Anthony Rizzo had his stiff neck. Like, what's your take on this Yankees injury? Do you think we're just fucked and we're just plagued with injuries forever? Kind of what's your take? Like, what do you expect from this team when it's fully healthy?
Listen, you got a long season. You're gonna have a lot of injuries. The human body can't sustain 162 games healthy. We got to just get over this hump. After everyone gets healthy, they got to stay healthy. They got to maintain. Nestor's been in and out. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe he'll be healthier in September, come say. You never know. Josh Donaldson coming back, I thought was going to be big. He popped a couple home runs, but now he's back to Josh Donaldson. So it is what it is with that. Harrison Bader's a key piece for our team being missing. You know, he sets the energy, he sets the tone. I feel like he's a firecracker out there for this team. And having him out, it throws off the chemistry a little.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kind of what's your take on Rodon? Are you obviously we were pumped when the Yankees signed him, but he hasn't even pitched a game yet. So what are you expecting from him when he comes back?
Come back healthy. That's it. Come back healthy, 100% ready to go. Don't come back and not be too sure if you're 100%. Wait till you're 100%, come back and do what you do on that bump.
And honestly, I'm glad that you bring that up because to be honest, the Yankees starting pitching isn't the problem. Like, the starters have been doing their job. Garrett Cole has been great. Nestor Cortez, he's been shaky this season, but he's been delivering when needed. Domingo Germán, obviously, besides the cheating allegation that one game, has been amazing this season. Like, he's got almost a sub 3.5 ERA. He's been delivering. He's been eating up innings. He's been pretty well. Clark Schmidt.
I started liking Germán last year's Subway Series against the Mets. After that game, I feel like it's been going up.
Yeah, and I think he's someone that you can count on. He's definitely someone that the Yankees and Boone relies on. Clark Schmidt, too, he started off really bad. And I think Clark Schmidt, for someone that's young, a lot of Yankees fans were like, hey, being the next starting pitcher prospect, he's been definitely going up. Like, he's been going up on the ladders. He's been doing well. He's been pitching tough and good games that matter. And his stuff's been there. He's striking out a lot of guys. So I'm happy to see Clark Schmidt doing well. And then all these other rookies that they call up, Randy Vasquez, or all these other one-off guys have been doing pretty well for this team. So I wholeheartedly agree with you. Come back healthy. Don't re-injure yourself. This Yankees team is okay for now, but just come back healthy for October.
Nope.
And kind of what's your thoughts on DJ? Like I said, DJ has been a machine for us. Clearly struggling this season. Is it something that you're worried about, or do you think he's going to turn it around?
Uh, I don't know. I honestly think he's fallen off. It's not look. I'm a huge DJ fan. I love DJ LeMahieu, but he's just not producing as much as he used to. He's not that guy we signed a couple years ago. You know, it happens. Hopefully, he could get over this hump, but it's not
It's
looking too good for him. He's on the trade block a little bit for me.
And it's crazy because DJ LeMahieu was a top 5 vote getter for the Yankees in his first year back in like 2019. Like he was
Hmm.
hitting 300. Like this guy, his whole career, not even with the Yankees, with Colorado and all these other teams, like he is a batting champ. Like he puts the ball in play and he's been striking out a lot this season, which is why I'm a little nervous for him. I don't know if it's just a little stretch or a little struggle that he's going through, or if this is the DJ that we're getting as a Yankees fan now. And I worry for him. So we'll see. I'm glad that you bring up the trade block because we'll have a little fun segment later down the
Hmm.
line in terms about the Yankees. But kind of segueing over, we talk about the Yankees, we talk about the Subway Series. They split that. We're talking about a big series this weekend. I mentioned it earlier on the pod that I'll be there this weekend. Yankees versus Red Sox, the best rivalry in sports. What's your take on it? Obviously, the Yankees played them last week. Last weekend, they ended up losing 2 games out of the 3. They only won 1. Honestly, not a great showing. Rafael Devers, I got to give it to the man, owns the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, owns Coltrane. He always hits home runs against Garrett Cole, and it continued. And the Red Sox, who are in 5th place in the division, is stealing games for the Yankees. So going into this weekend, how big of a series is this for the Yankees on the road to kind of do some damage control in Fenway? Or do you just really – another question I want to ask you is, do you think the rivalry is still there? I see a lot of people on Yankees Twitter saying like, oh, the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry is not even there. The Yankees and the Astros are a bigger rivalry now. Like, do you – as a Yankees fan, do you hate the Red Sox? Like, I want to hear all your takes on this.
I'm a big Yankee historian. I will always hate the Red Sox. I will always hate I get sick to my stomach when we lose to them. I don't, I think the rivalry is still there for me. Um, but I do hate the Astros more just because of the time period we're in now, where they're our biggest threat in the postseason. They're the ones who always keep us, one step short of the World Series. Um, but Yankees Red Sox will always be Yankees Red Sox in my eyes. I love watching both teams play, but yeah, I get sick to my stomach when the Red Sox win. So that's why we got to take care of business and get back at them this weekend.
And now the 3 starters that are lined up to play against the Sox is Domingo Germán, who we just mentioned, Clark Schmidt, and Luis Severino. So kind of going into it, like I said, the Red Sox have been struggling this season. They
Hmm.
haven't been well. They've been 5th in the division. And one thing that I think not a lot of people are talking about in the media, which is insane to me, is that every team plays every team this season in baseball. So for that to happen, all these division games have been cut, I think, more than half. The Yankees don't play the Red Sox 18 times anymore. I
Yeah,
think they
that
play
is
them like
true.
12. So when it comes to these division games with the AL East, for how good and how close it is, these games matter more than ever because you don't play
Mhm.
them as much. Like, do you think this series is as crucial as I feel it is for the Yankees? Or like I said, do you think that regardless it's just 3 games and they'll be fine regardless of the results?
No, I definitely think we need to take all 3 because, like you said, that's a good point, by the way. We don't play them as much. We got to be ready for a tiebreaker. They're in 5th place. We're probably not going to worry about them, but if we get the upper hand on them head to head, that may help us.
Yeah, no, and I mean, like, listen, like the AL East, you look at the records, the Rays are 50-22. The Orioles are 43-25. Shout out to Baltimore. They're having a
Yeah,
great
I love
season.
Baltimore. They're like the little brother who's actually like their future's looking bright.
I mean, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, fucking Aaron Hicks is apparently the next Barry Bonds in Baltimore now.
Yeah,
It's so
fucking
fucking
Aaron Hicks,
stupid.
bro. Oh my
Aaron
God.
Hicks, not even Aaron Hicks, like just every Yankee that leaves the
Joey
Yankees.
Gallo,
Joey
Gary
Gallo,
Sanchez.
Aroldis Chapman, like all
Yeah,
of them just leave the
seriously.
Yankees and just become fucking Barry
It must
Bonds.
say something about our hitting and pitching coaches, though.
Yeah, they need to be packed up. That's exactly what it means because
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman is going back to Kansas City throwing 103. Joey Gallo's hitting 500-foot moonshots. You said
Yeah.
it. Gary Sanchez is hitting homers now. And Aaron Hicks is batting 410 games with the Orioles. I know it's a small sample size, but clearly new scenery means something for these guys. But like I was mentioning, Baltimore having a great season, 43-25. Us in third place, 9.5 games back of the Rays. Blue Jays just a game and a half behind us. And the Red Sox, 34-35. They're hovering 500. But baseball's baseball. You get in a 10-game hitting streak and you're back in the race. So I do think it's very important for this Yankees team to at least win 2 out of 3. I mean, sweeping a team in baseball is always hard unless you're the Oakland A's. But I think it's very crucial for them to win this series, especially that they lost last series. I really want to see this Yankees team come out hungry. I want to see Josh Donaldson. I want to see DJ LeMahieu. I want to see Stan. I need to see Rizzo get out his
Let's
slump.
bring the rivalry back. Hit a couple batters.
I agree. Get gritty. Jose Trevino needs to step up. He's been pretty bad after being an all-star last season. Like you said. Go ahead.
Nah, Jose Trevino has been iffy, but he comes in clutch. I don't know if you see it, but he comes in clutch at times. Like, he gets a hit, yeah. He reminds me, I'm not going to say, like, he doesn't match up to the skill sets that Jorge Posada has, but when I watch him, bro, like, he gets those clutch hits here and there like him.
And I think that's what makes Jose Trevino so valuable, is because realistically, everybody knows he's not a good hitting catcher. He's not an offensive catcher. He's there to frame. He's there to throw runners out. He's there for his defensive prowess.
We got the 2 best framers in the league. The 2 best framers.
And clearly it shows with just Trevino winning a Platinum Glove last year. Like, he is that guy. But you're right. Doesn't hit the home runs as much. Doesn't bat for average, but you feel like when the Yankees need him most, he'll come through with the big hits.
Definitely.
He just does it. I mean, I don't know from the top of my head, but he
has that dog in him.
He does have that dog in him. He's that Bronx dog in him. He's a diehard Yankee fan, he was saying, ever since he was growing up. So it's good to see Yankee fans who, do well for our organization. But I'm really hoping that the Yankees take care of business in the Sox. Hope this rivalry keeps it alive, because I'm going to be honest, the rivalry's not been hitting the same. Like, I remember growing up, Ryan Dempster hitting A-Rod. A-Rod's like, what the fuck? And they started getting gritty. I remember growing up, Veritek and A-Rod like fighting each other. Like, where's the blood, sweat, and tears in this rivalry? And I feel like it's kind of gotten a little soft. So I'm kind of hoping for it to turn around.
It's just because they can't keep up with us. That's it.
I agree, but historically, hate to say it, but the Red Sox the last 5 years do have our number in terms of World Series wins and just kind of postseason success, unfortunately. But
they have a good system going on.
They do.
They're bad every other year. They're terrible every other year.
Yeah, exactly. They have one.
It's like they win and then they're bad for 4 or 5 years.
And they never sign their players. They let Xander Bogaerts walk. Yes, they signed Rafael
I'm
Devers
surprised
now.
they signed Devers. I'm surprised they signed him. I honestly wanted to see him go to Seattle. I'm not going to lie.
Devers in Seattle with Julio would have been tough.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the Red Sox are one of the most premier organizations in baseball, and they just never keep their guys, which is insane to me. Mookie Betts, you win a chip with Mookie and you ship him out. Xander Bogaerts is literally the Jeter of the Red Sox.
They definitely missed out on Mookie. They made a big mistake there.
Yeah, it's a very big mistake. And there you go. Mookie ends up going to Los Angeles and bringing them a ring. And Mookie's one of the best players in baseball as well. But
top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of before we go into our next segment, anything you want to say on the Yankees Sox and just the rivalry as a whole?
I got a quick little fun thing for you, Rizzo. Don't mind me. I'm going to just steal the show.
Okay.
Top 5 players in baseball right now.
I'm going to go, obviously, Aaron Judge. He's not number 1. He's probably number 2. I got to go Shohei Ohtani, number 1. That guy has been insane. Leads the AL in home runs, over 100 strikeouts, under a 3 ERA. Ohtani, absolutely amazing. Batters against him is batting like 180. Dude is a unicorn, maybe the best player of all time. Judge, I got to go second. Third, I'm going to have to go Ronald Acuna. He is the MVP favorite right now. Ronald Acuna not only steals bases, hits for power, hits for average. He's been –
does it all. 5 tools.
5-tool player. Absolutely amazing. And for the first time, I think ever, I'm leaving Mike Trout out of my list, and I'm going to go with Mookie at number 4. I just think Mookie's an all-around player. Mookie is amazing. So I got Shohei, I got Judge, I got Acuna, I got Mookie. And I love Mike Trout, but he's kind of been injured. if you're asking as a biased fan, Bryce Harper's definitely up there, but I'm not putting Bryce at number 5.
I thought you
I'm put
were.
Listen, I love Bryce, but he can't be number 5. My number 5 is actually Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman, just the last few years
Ooh,
that
that's
he's
a
had, has
different
been
one. I like it.
amazing. Freddie Freeman's batting 340 this season. He does it all. Won a chip with the Braves, won the MVP with the Braves, and with his 2 years in the Dodgers, he's been absolutely amazing. And obviously, there's a lot of other players in the league. Corbin Carroll as a rookie has been absolutely amazing. You look at all these other
He made a
pitchers that have
bonehead
been.
mistake the other day.
He did by not getting the guy that tagged up on him.
Yep.
There's just so many good players in baseball. And it really just depends on what you're looking for. It's not like basketball that is kind of cut and dry. But yeah, I got to go Ohtani. I got to go Judge, Mookie, Acuna. I got to give it to Freddie Freeman right now. And Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper. There's just so many good players. And I kind of want to throw it on you a little bit. What's your take on right now, best 5 guys in baseball?
So my 4 are similar to yours. I'm gonna go Shohei, Judge, and then, I think I'm gonna switch Mookie and Acuna.
Okay.
Because because I'm a little biased. I love Mookie. Even when he was a Red Sox, I hate to say it, I always thought he was a really good player. So I'm gonna go with Mookie at 3, Acuna at 4, and I'm gonna put Bryce at 5.
That's tough. And you know what's crazy? We're not mentioning Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr. There's just so many good players in baseball. I love Bryce Harper. That's my dog. And he's coming back. I guess we'll do a little segment on Bryce Harper, because if Bryce ever sees the RizPod, I want him to know that I fucking love Bryce Harper. He's fucking him. Dude, his postseason run last season, one of the best postseason runs ever. I mean, leading that Philadelphia Phillies team to the World Series, having a big home run in the World Series against the Astros, having that big Game 5 home run against the Padres. And then
he's a clutch hitter. He got that dog in him too.
Getting Tommy John and coming back in 6 months.
And still hitting 500-foot homers.
It's unheard of. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now he's slowly getting to play first base, which probably works out better for him than the outfield.
Yeah, he should definitely stay there if he likes it. He definitely should stay there if he wants a long career.
Yeah, and I mean, Bryce Harper's the man. But there's just so many good players. Trey Turner's up there, like Mookie Betts. There's just so many good, and we're not even naming pitchers. Like, there's so many great pitchers that are up in that conversation as well. But yeah, that was a little fun segment. And I think kind of segueing into our next topic for the pod, I mentioned a little bit earlier about Jose Trevino being a lifelong Yankees fan and playing in the pinstripes. And I kind of want to segue it over to another lifelong Yankees fan that's playing in the pinstripes. The future of this organization, the next shortstop, the current shortstop of the New York Yankees, and that's number 11, Anthony Volpe, the New Jersey kid. Everybody, and I mean every Yankees fan, wanted him to start the season, be the guy, give him the keys to this organization. And that's exactly what Brian Cashman and this Yankees team did. They had him start opening day, and he's been playing pretty much every single day since the beginning. But it's not really turning out exactly how fans expected. And I kind of want to talk about it. I mean, what should we do with Anthony Volpe? The guy's batting under 200. He's hitting home runs. He's getting hits. He's actually tweaked his batting stance in the Subway Series. And he's at least hitting. He's got 3 hits in the 2 games.
He was eating your favorite chicken parm.
Yeah, he was eating chicken parm with Austin Wells, and it kind of tweaked his batting stance. So I kind of want to hear your thoughts on Anthony Volpe. Not more so about his struggles yet. We'll get to his struggles, but were you someone that wanted to have Anthony Volpe start on opening day? Do you feel like he was prematurely called up? Because he only had like 20 at-bats in AAA. So I kind of want to hear your first initial thoughts on Anthony Volpe. Are you happy that he's the shortstop of the Yankees right now?
I am. You know, he's young. We got to watch the growing pains. To see him come up and start the first game, I didn't expect the Yankees to do that, but they did it. I was excited for it. But I knew it was coming. I knew we had to watch some growing pains. You know, in the beginning of the season, he didn't look too good. But then you started to see a difference. I started to see a difference. I started to see him get in the game, slowing down the game, getting hits, and now it's slowing up again. And he, like you said, he changed his batting stance. Hopefully that's for the good. But I like Anthony Volpe. He just needs some time. People got to understand, you got to be patient with a young kid. He's 22 years old. He's a baby. He's younger than me.
Than us. Yeah, he's younger than us.
Exactly. You got to give him some time. Be patient with the kid. But we do have other options. We do have
We
other
do.
options.
And I kind of want to get to that. And I do want to just jokingly call you out a little bit because I remember in the first week of the season when Anthony Volpe was struggling, you're like, oh, Anthony Volpe sucks.
Yeah.
Whatever,
I thought
whatever.
he was a
Oh,
bust.
yeah. And it was a week into the season. And imagine now all these people now that are watching Anthony Volpe. And listen, it's hard when you see all these other rookies in the league. Corbin Carroll's a top 3 MVP favorite in the National League. That guy's been unbelievable. He's a rookie. Josh Jung, the third baseman for the Rangers, is the favorite to win the Rookie of the Year. He's a dog in Texas. Texas is having a great season, by the way.
Yep.
Yoshida, the Red Sox player, he's been a great rookie. Obviously, he's had some experience in Japan, but he's been absolutely outstanding. There's a lot of rookies in this league that have been doing. Hunter Brown, the Astros pitcher, he's been great. There's a lot. Ellie De La Cruz for Cincinnati just got called up, and that man is the most electric baseball player I've seen maybe since Tatis came out. Like, he's been an absolute stud. And then Volpe's just kind of not doing it. He's kind of struggling. The only thing Volpe, I will say, has been great for this Yankees team at this current point is his ability on the base passes. He's been stealing a lot of bases. He's been more so just stealing a lot of bases because even his on-base percentage has been pretty bad. He doesn't walk a lot. He's amongst, honestly, the top, I think, 20 people in the league in most strikeouts this season. He strikes out a lot. And obviously, like you said, growing pains. He didn't play in AAA. But I'm going to kind of go a little bit different in terms of what to do with Volpe, for my opinion. I think the Yankees are so blessed to have a lot of middle infield prospects, especially like someone like Oswald Peraza, who is killing it in AAA, by the way. He has like 10 home runs in AAA ever since they brought him down. I'm a believer that, listen, Volpe is the future. He's going to be with the Yankees for a while, but send him down. Bring up Peraza. Let Volpe get some at-bats. Let Peraza come and take the shine as the shortstop of the Yankees. See what he can do. Give it a month. Volpe can come back in August. Volpe can come back in July. Just let him get confidence because obviously Judge, Rizzo, all these clubhouse guys have been great with Volpe and making him feel at home. But Volpe doesn't get on base. Honestly, his fielding has been pretty shaky. Like, he hasn't been outstanding on defense. He's got like 7 home runs, which has been great, but Volpe's really not producing at the level that these fans expect. And I don't want him to lose his confidence. I want him go kill some teenagers in AAA or some grown 40-year-olds in AAA. Let Peraza take the role. Let's see what he can do. And then you bring back Volpe after a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we do have other options. You're definitely right about that. We have Peraza. I mean, he's struggling from what I hear in minors at first, but he picked it up a little. The biggest prospect that I think is going to make a huge difference is Jason Dominguez, the Martian. But for shortstop's sake, we got Trey Sweeney down there. Someone's going to have to be a I'm sorry.
No, you're
Someone's
good.
gonna have to, yeah. Someone's gonna have to be. What happened?
No, I was gonna say about Jason Dominguez. Someone's got to step up. Basically, long story short, someone's got to step up. I think, and that's why I want Peraza to kind of take the role. I want to see what he can do. Dominguez is a great prospect, like you were saying, and I think Oswaldo Cabrera is another one that I want to talk about too. He's a great spark plug off the bench, or he's been starting a lot, but he's been struggling too. He hasn't really done anything. But he's another one that can play shortstop for the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees have IKF. But I think, for me, I just don't want Volpe with this New York media to make him lose his confidence. And I know that you were saying with the growing pains, and I'll kind of let you finish up that thought that you previously had. But I think for the Yankees' longevity and for their success this season, let Volpe get some confidence. Let's get some wins now with someone that's a little bit more hot in Oswald Peraza. But yeah, kind of take it away in terms of just finishing your thoughts in terms of if Volpe should get sent down, if the Yankees should just kind of stick with him or what.
I'm sorry, Rizzo.
No, you're good.
My fault. Well,
no, I was saying for kind of what's your thoughts on the Anthony Volpe saga? Like, do you feel like he's someone that should be called down, just deal with the growing pains? Like, Do you not want Oswaldo Peraza to come up?
I don't. I do want Oswaldo Peraza to come up, but I hope they find a way to keep both of them on the team because they need to make a decision. They need to decide who's the future shortstop, or maybe they're shortstop and second base, and Glaber gets traded. But I don't think that's going to happen. But one of them has to step up and be the future of our team, and the other one has to get traded, and we got to pick up some value from that.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. I mean, Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman have made it apparently clear to the entire media that they're just going to stick with Volpe and they're never going to send him down, which I guess it's fine. It's nice. That's what you got to say for a young player to build his confidence. But I just worry that his confidence is going to diminish with the New York media. But to kind of segue over to what we would do with Volpe, I want to kind of play a fun game with the audience to kind of see what would Freddy do. We're going to play WWFD. And no, we're not talking about no Call of Duty map. No, we're not talking about no other acronym. What would Freddy do as the general manager of the New York Yankees? We're talking about all the players that are on this Yankees team, whether or not they are a championship caliber player or somebody that can get the boot. So I'll kind of list off some players. You tell me what's your thoughts on them, what you would do with them, and then I'll kind of, give you my take on it. So
All right.
Garrett Cole, the ace of the Yankees. What would Freddy do with Garrett Cole?
Definitely keep him. No choice.
Absolutely.
You got him. Let the contract roll out. If he gets old and does bad, he still deserves the money anyways with the way he pitched. So it doesn't matter. Keep him. That's
I agree. I think Aaron Judge is a very obvious question, so we'll kind of skip him.
Yeah, definitely skip him. We're not getting rid of him.
I want to hear your take on this one. Giancarlo Stanton. What would you do with Giancarlo Stanton?
I love Stanton. That dude is clutch. He's a beast. But there's better. I think he holds enough trade value right now as it is that we don't have to eat that money in the future. You got to get rid of him at a good time because there's no way we're seeing a decline in him. We are. He's striking out more. He's frustrating to watch at times, but he still has those clutch hits. So definitely think by the end of the season, if there's no championship, I would hold Stan until the end of the season is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think for me, Stanton, the thing that he has going for him is, like you said, he in October is a different beast. Before the Yankees, when he was with Miami, that dude was the best player in baseball in terms of the regular season. Dude was hitting 50, 60, 40 home runs on the regular. But obviously he had no postseason success because Miami never made it there. Comes to New York, always injured, kind of putting up okay seasons. 30 and 100 RBIs is great seasons, but for someone like Stanton, you expect more. But he's been great in October. I would kind of keep him because, honestly, I don't really know what the market is for him. I don't know if a lot of players would trade for Stanton. So you kind of just roll with the
heavy
punches.
Contract.
Yeah, you just kind of eat the contract and just kind of hope that he brings a championship soon with Judge. Next, we're going to go with Gleyber Torres, someone that we kind of talked about a little bit. A lot of fans love Gleyber. I think Gleyber is kind of an enigma in the Yankees fan base. You either love Gleyber or you really want to get rid of him, right? There's really no in between. So what's your take on Gleyber? What would you do if you were the manager of the Yankees?
This is where it's a tough decision because you literally have to go with your gut here. You have Gleyber Torres, who is a decent second baseman in this league. Not even decent. He's probably top 10 in this league, in my opinion. This dude he's batting 250 right now, but he also comes up with those clutch hits. He strikes out less than most of the people on the team. He almost has 30 RBIs this season. He's definitely a good player, a solid player to have at your second base position, but you have two young prospects. You have two young prospects that you don't know what's going to come in the future. You got to make a decision. You got to either trade one of the younger guys or get rid of Gleyber.
So what would you do? You're on the hot seat, King.
I haven't seen Peraza play, so I'm going to have to say trade Peraza. Just because I haven't seen him play.
All right, fair.
That's the only reason why.
For me, I'm keeping Gleyber Torres. And here's my thing with that. I think Gleyber Torres, there's not many second basemen that you're going to get that are better than Gleyber Torres. I know Gleyber's aging, but he's not that old. He's probably, I think, in his late 20s. Like, Gleyber Torres is someone that we know can play in the Bronx. He can play a great second base. And yes, you have Peraza, you have Volpe, you have all these guys on this team. Mm-hmm. But trade Peraza. He's probably his highest value is now. Or trade Volpe. I don't know. I don't care. One of them's got to go.
He's only 26, by the way.
Gleyber?
Not too bad. Yeah, he's not too bad.
I mean, baseball players in their prime are like 32. So you keep Gleyber. He's young. Like I said, he can play in the Bronx. We know what he's capable of. Peraza's value is not going to get any higher than it is right now with how he's hitting in AAA. Trade him for a great pitcher. Trade him for another bat. I don't know. The Yankees almost traded Gleyber Torres last season for Pablo Lopez. And like clearly you can see what his value is. And I think Gleyber, in my opinion, is a top 5 second baseman in baseball when he's fully healthy. So I personally would keep Gleyber Torres. I would shift one of the younger players out and kind of build around that. So a little different opinions there. Kind of going over to two veterans on this team. I want to see what would you do with JD, Josh Donaldson, and DJ LeMahieu.
Oh, I mean, I don't like Josh Donaldson. I'm not a huge fan of him. I've never been a huge fan of him. Like, I didn't like him when he was on the Blue Jays. I hated him. I didn't want him to join the Yankees. I was upset when I found out. So, biased opinion here, get rid of Donaldson. DJ, I love DJ, but I don't even think there's trade value in DJ. I don't think it'll be worth it. I don't think it would be worth to lose DJ LeMahieu. Just hopefully he could pick it up.
I'm in agreement there. Honestly, this is going to be a hot take. I just say you keep both of them, see what they can do. They've got playoff experience. They got championship experience. Josh Donaldson obviously isn't producing, but I think there's merit into what he provides on defense as well as clutch in October. I say give him
drops his hat and still feels that ground ball. That was a nice play.
Yeah.
But, like, what are you doing, man? Focus.
I mean, he pimps singles, so like every shot he just looks at it and pimps it. But no, I think Josh Donaldson kind of has that it factor a little bit. I think he has that hunger and kind of the same thing. Like, he's got no trade value. DJ's got no trade value. Why are you going to just buy them out and let them go to another contender and just fuck us? I just say you kind of just roll with the punches, see what they can do for us this season. But yeah, that might be a little hot take to the Yankees Twitter, to Yankees fans. But I say let it roll. Keep DJ, keep JD. Kind of hope that they get hot. Kind of going over to a little more different side. Obviously, there's other players like Bader, all these guys that we talked about that are probably we would keep. But somebody I want to hear your thoughts on is Oswaldo Cabrera. We talked about Oswaldo Cabrera. He's been kind of going back and forth in terms of AAA and the big leagues. He's been struggling, but he was a spark plug for this Yankees team. So what's your take on Cabrera? Do you think he needs to go, send him out, trade him? Like, what's your take on him?
I think we pack him up.
You would package him in a trade?
Yeah. I'd package him in a trade with Donaldson. I feel like that's a good trade-off. You get a veteran on your team. You get a young outfielder on your team he's a good player. He puts his head down and plays hard, but he's not producing for us. I would package him along with Josh Donaldson for a pitcher, like you said, because we got the Martian coming soon,
I agree.
I don't know what we're going to do with Bader, but we got the Martian coming soon. Maybe Bader could play left field or right, left field.
Dominguez would probably play the corner outfields because Bader's got a gold glove, and he'll probably man it down there. My thing with Cabrera is
I don't know, man. Jason got that speed.
Yeah, but so does Bader. We'll see. I mean, we'll
it's
even
50-50.
We'll see if the Yankees even re-sign Bader after the season because Bader's a free agent. So I hope the 914 boy stays local. But you never know. I mean,
he's been proven he can handle New York. He's been proven. Playoffs is amazing.
And he loves
pops
the
a
fans.
Couple out here and there. Yep.
No, absolutely. And I love Harrison Bader. Like you said, he's just got that dog in him. He's clutch. He's great. He embodies New York. He's from practically the same town as us. So it's good to see. I hope he stays, but it's possible that he doesn't. So in terms of Cabrera, for me, I think the Yankees mishandled him, to be honest. I think he's been really bad offensively. He's a great utility player. He can play short, second, third, the outfield. And he was great defensively in the outfield for someone that barely played there last season.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just not hitting the ball. He's a switch hitter. He has a lot of tools that players would like or GMs for other teams would like. The Yankees are just putting him out there just to suck ass, and I think that his value is diminished. So I don't know. I feel like you just send him down. Same thing with Volpe. Just kind of let them get their growing pains out and kind of just raise their value, like what the Yankees are doing with Peraza. And that's why I say you kind of just roll Peraza out there right now and see what he can do and see if he can translate to W's.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I got a couple more. I think kind of in general, I don't want to say a specific person in the Yankees bullpen just because there's a lot of great players in the Yankees bullpen. But would you, if you were Brian Cashman, go and get a reliever for this team? Would you go out there in the market and trade some assets and pieces for another arm?
I mean, another arm wouldn't hurt. Definitely could say that. We could definitely use more help in the bullpen. Our bullpen is pretty solid. Most of them, we only got three pitchers under 3 ERA. The ones that do have a higher ERA are rookies. So, you got a young Cordero. You just got to see how everything works out come trade deadline. But I definitely think we should get another arm. And if we were to trade for another arm, maybe Cabrera and Abreu for a good relief
And
pitcher.
I mean, the Yankees have a lot of prospects. They have a lot of people in their farm system that we haven't even seen yet. Like Austin Wells. We haven't even talked about Austin Wells. He's a catching prospect who pray to God that
Been following him since college.
Yeah, and pray to God that he comes up pretty soon. And
no, wait, he went to U of A. Sorry, U of A.
ASU, just because you go to Arizona from time to time. But no, Austin Wells is a great hitter. He's a great catching prospect. I really hope he comes out soon, and he's the future of the Yankees as well because I love Trevi. Higgy is fine. They're not everyday catchers in this game. I guess kind of segueing to that, what would you do with the Higashioka and Trevi? Would you keep them on the squad? Would you deal them? Would you try to get rid of them? Like, what would you do with them?
Give Austin Wells time. He's a catcher. He needs to know more about the game before he plays for us. We got a platinum glove catcher, and we have a gold glove in Higgy, definitely. I think we keep both of those catchers. We're fine where we're at catching-wise. Not all catchers are hitting the ball nowadays. It's hard to find a catcher that has awesome defense and amazing hitting. Not going to find it nowadays. Mets are hoping Alvarez is the key to that. They say he does both. They say he could do this. He made a couple errors in the Subway Series. But, yeah, I think we should keep our two catchers. I love them. I love both of them. They're both very good players.
I think you bring up a great point because I feel like growing up, there was a lot of great catchers growing up for us. I mean, but like now there's honestly like maybe 5. JT Realmuto, Adley Rutschman.
Don't forget Adley. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jonah Heim from Texas. He's a great hitter and he can defend. Like, okay, that's probably 3 that could do both sides of the ball.
We can't even trade for those catchers.
No, exactly.
It's not even worth it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to like. Wilson Contreras isn't a great defensive catcher. Salvi is a terrible defensive catcher, but he can hit the ball 500 feet. Like you said, there's not a lot of players that can do both. So why not just kind of go with the guys that are great defensively?
I'd rather have defense than offense in my catcher's position.
Yeah, and I
felt that in the playoffs against the Astros.
Absolutely.
That one hurt Gary.
And then kind of a final one, I want to hear your thoughts more so. It's Aaron Boone. What would you do with Aaron Boone? I mean, we were talking about Aaron Boone. He's been getting criticism for years now. If the Yankees don't win a World Series this year, do you fire him? Do you get rid of him? He is a player's manager. I think he's been ejected 40-something times already as a Yankees manager. And
I love that about coaches.
Just going to fight for their players.
Yes, I love coaches that'll fight for their players because I played the game, so I understand it. It's cool. It's nice to see your coach standing up for you, but you're not gonna like what I'm about to say for this. But I don't think the Yankees had a good coach since Joe Torre. I think Girardi was terrible. You could
Oh,
he really I really think Girardi is terrible. I mean, the only reason why he looked good with the Yankees was because we're the Yankees. We have money to spend. You saw him in Philly, what he did over there. That was
that's true. I
absolutely terrible. And I don't know if you know this, but he got offered college coaching jobs and he declined it.
I did see
So
that.
I don't
Yes.
think he's going back into coaching, but definitely I don't think coaching is his thing. And Aaron Boone, a lot of people say it's Boone, a lot of people say it's Cashman. I think it's a little bit of both, but definitely Boone needs to go. He needs to we need to get an office that would let the coach coach. The coach knows more than the owners. Let them do what they have to do. Forget about the GM. The GM handles the coaching. Who's hired for coaching? He doesn't decide who's the starting lineup. What the starting lineup is. The GM cannot make that decision. The coach does, and we need a good coach to do that for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many more times I can take Willie Calhoun leading off and my blood pressure not boiling. But yeah, I don't listen. Aaron Boone produces 100-win seasons for the Yankees, but I think it's just he's got a good roster. Obviously, a part of it does come from him making good decisions and whatnot. But I'm kind of in the mindset that you give him maybe this year. If no one's fully healthy, if he's got injury problems, you give him maybe one more year. But how many more years can the Yankees give Aaron Boone until a
It's been
championship's
decades,
rewarded?
man. It's been a
Yeah,
decade.
because listen, Joe Girardi, regardless of all the hatred that everybody's saying, was down 2-0 against the Indians in 2017, came back, was
Hmm.
down 3-1, forced it to game 7 in the the ALCS and lost. And the Yankees almost made it to the World Series with the baby bombers.
Hmm.
And then he got fired. So, I don't know. I think Joe Girardi had a lot of heart. Obviously, he was just kind of the manager I had growing up. Obviously, when I really, really understood baseball from 2008 on. So I just kind of grew up with Joe Girardi. But yeah, I say give Boone a couple more years. If fully healthy and he doesn't deliver, I say you boot him. But with that being said, that was a great edition of What Would Freddy Do, aka What Would We Do as the Yankees general manager. Ultimately, the decision, the topic I'm most excited to hear your take on. At the end of the day, the Yankees are a championship caliber organization. We go out putting a product every single year to contend and win the World Series. So just to cut it short and simple, is number 28 coming home this year?
I really hope so. I mean, there's no talent in baseball. You can't. There's no way you can predict who's winning right now without being biased. They're definitely making the playoffs. I There's an 80% of that happening. They're making the playoffs, and to win the World Series, it's probably down to 10 because we got the Astros, um, the Rays. The Rays are always good, and look how cheap their team is. Um,
That's great
There's a lot of
coaching
teams
there.
in the AL. Yes, yes, it is. That is great coaching and a great office too.
Absolutely.
I really hope we get take this World Series, but personally feel like Philly's gonna turn up again and take the World Series. I said that last year when they lost. I said last year, right after they lost, Philly's winning next year.
Wow, Philly's your pick for the World Series just at this current moment. As of June 15th, Philly is your World Series winners.
Yep, yep.
If
I
I
think they're
had
gonna
to
turn up. I think Trey Turner's gonna turn up over there. It's gonna get scary over there.
I have to make a bold prediction since Freddy made a bold prediction. Is 28 coming home? The answer is no. I don't think this is our year, sadly. I hope so. I hope we make the World Series.
Me too.
But I'm looking at all these other teams. Baltimore is ascending. Tampa Bay is looking amazing. Texas, listen, Texas not only is the best offensive team in baseball right now, but their pitching has been ironically insane. Nathan Eovaldi has been unbelievable. John Gray has been unbelievable. Martin Perez once again is being solid, and they don't even have Jacob DeGrom, who's probably going to retire. But the Rangers are going to be scary. The Astros are still really good. The AL Central, sure they exist, but they are nothing to worry about.
Yeah,
So
or the NL, both those divisions,
yeah, I
nothing to
mean,
worry
yeah,
about.
I I worry for them to even make it out of the AL. But even going to the NL, you got the Diamondbacks, who they're still premature, but they've got a great
Mhm.
team. Zach Gallen's a
I
Cy Young
I don't
favorite.
think they're gonna make a playoff push. They're too young for that.
They're number one in the NL West. I think they definitely make the playoffs with their production
Yeah,
right now. World Series, it might be a little premature, but the
yeah.
Dodgers are obviously there. The best team, in my opinion, in baseball is the Atlanta Braves. You got Spencer Strider, who's been great, Max Fried, who hasn't even come back yet. You got the MVP in Acuna, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ozzy Albies, Michael Harris. Like that Braves team, low key is like the Avengers. Like they are a god squad. And if I had to make a prediction right now, I got the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series. Hopefully it's Braves Yankees with the
Both teams
Yankees
in the
winning.
NL East. That's
Yeah.
kind of tough.
Well,
I do
I am
think
I
the Braves win that division. I think the Phillies make it to the wild card and make that push like they did last year and take it all the way this time.
yeah, and I think the NL East, just like the AL East, man, is a very tight race. The Marlins are in second place right now. There's a lot of
Hmm.
close baseball. Even the Mets, even though they're in fourth, they're only I mean they're what 32 and 36. Like they're just not
Yeah,
too far out either.
I honestly don't see them fitting in that playoff spot. There's too many good teams in the NL.
It's true. I mean, the Padres aren't even in it yet. Like, yeah, there's a lot of teams to come back from it. So we'll see. I mean, the Pirates are having a great season. Look at them. Shout out the Pirates. Shout out Henry Davis.
Yeah,
Westchester 914 owned.
Westchester.
Um, but yeah, no. So that was kind of anticlimactic. You think the two biggest Yankee fans would have the Yankees winning, but at the end of the day, I feel like we're pretty realists. So I guess more so on a positive note, what do you think the Yankees need to do to have 28 come home?
Fire everyone in that office and get new people. Al needs to grow some and make big boy decisions like his father did. His father wasn't afraid to push that button.
I agree, but realistically, that's not going to happen. So, what I
Mm.
think needs to happen for them to win 28 this year is I just think, obviously, the boys just need to play better. I just think they need to have a whole personality and like visualization of how to play baseball differently. I think they need to ditch the Bronx Bombers, kind of play small ball. Tell Volpe, hey, gap to gap. Don't aim for home. Let Aaron Judge and Stanton be the home run hitters. Even Rizzo. Listen, I love Anthony Rizzo. Is one of my favorite guys. I think I got his jersey on right now. No, it's Garrett Cole. I lied. But Anthony Rizzo is a great hitter, and I feel like at Yankee Stadium, he's just worrying about pulling the ball too much. Just focus on hitting, advancing the runners to the next position instead of going for the home run hits. So I would love for their ideology to maybe shift a little bit and just keep doing what they're doing defensively and pitching, because I think their pitching and defensively has been great. I think offensively they could be much worse, but with what they have, they're doing okay.
They need to get their average up,
Yeah, exactly. Hit for average.
the
Stop
on
hitting for
base
power.
percentage up.
Exactly. And I think the Yankees have always been good at that. They've been always good at drawing walks as well as working pitchers, but a lot of strikeouts, got to limit those, especially with Anthony Volpe now on the team striking out that much. You got to cut the strikeouts.
Yeah. I'm just looking up the batting average of the team is 232.
Which, with the shift now going out, it's pretty bad. I don't know where they
Mm-hmm.
rank in the league, but I don't think it's anywhere near. They're probably bottom 10 for sure, which is not very good.
Out of
Uh,
out of the AL teams, they're ranked 11th.
so 11th out of 16th, which is bottom of
Yeah,
the barrel. So or
yeah,
11 out of 15th, whatever. Either or, it's bottom of the barrel.
15. Yeah.
It's not very good. They need to turn it around. But kind of before we wrap everything up, Freddie, any final words that you kind of have for just the whole Yankees take before we kind of wrap up the show?
No, I mean, I'd say we weren't gonna win the World Series, but I hope they prove me wrong. I want to see number 28 come home. It'll be great to go to the parade. I'm definitely calling out of
Absolutely.
work for that one. um, it'll be madness if we win. They need to win. We haven't won in so long. And then for everyone watching, RizPod to the moon. Let's go, baby.
That's what I like to hear. But kind of to wrap everything up, with that being said, thank you everyone to listening for the 14th episode. This is the first of many Yankees episodes. Hopefully the Yankees, like Freddie said, do well, just so when we talk baseball, it's not depressing. We got to talk about the fucking Texas Rangers, because who wants to talk about the Texas Rangers? But with that being said, Freddie, thank you so much for coming on. being another
No
first-time guest on
problem.
the RizPod. Episode 14 might not be the last time we see you, especially if the Yankees continue to do their thing. But with that being said, it's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, RizGod, Riz, God, baby. With your boy, Fazo Fred. And we're signing out of what? The RizPod. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.